welcome back to Hard Struggle Homestead. Today, what we're going to do, we're going to be making carriage doors for the shed back here. Because it's a shed made out of trees, nothing is square, but that board up there is level. So I'm thinking I'd throw a 2x6 across the top, and maybe we put like a sign or something up there. I don't know. We'll figure something else out. And then we'll make the carriage doors. We have the kit, and see how it turns out. I don't really know what to do on this side over here either because the thing isn't straight. So maybe I straighten it out. I don't know. It'll be an adventure, just like everything else out here.
I'm so glad I have a sawmill. I had some footage, but it was really wobbly because I set the camera on the sawmill when it was running, so you get my voice instead. I cut a 2x14 and then ripped it in half with the skill saw, and that's how I ended up with these 2x7s that are mounted that I'm going to put up on the sides of this thing. As you can tell, I don't really know what I'm going to do with it because those trees are not exactly straight, and we're trying to make some sort of door. Plus, I'm by myself, which makes this even more fun. Here I had the genius idea of let's put one screw up in the top and then hopefully gravity assists and it will just make itself plumb. As you can tell from the video, it didn't really work out that well. I was I thought a lot about how to fix this thing. Oh, and I also only had 3.5-inch screws, so it made for quite a challenge because I had to go through the bark on those stumps. And looking at this now, you can definitely tell that post on the right isn't square.
A little gap there. A little gap there. Right there. Not bad at all. No clue how I'm going to hang that. Support that. Well, here we are. So I got it all set up. I'm not sure I like the frame the way it is because it's got that bracket on the inside. Maybe it'll be good. But I also use 2x6s instead of 2x4s, which the holes aren't really lining up, but I'll just drill in some new holes. So let's get this thing kicked going.
So this is the Pylex heavy duty gate kit that you can get on Amazon. The weekend before, I had built a set of carriage doors for our house. We replaced our garage door with some carriage doors because we have a bunch of wood and this was cheaper. I think I like that set a little better than this one because it allows you to square it a little bit better. Whereas this one has just the right angle on the outside and then right angle on the inside. But I don't know. So I also, since I had been working at home, left the sawhorses at home. So now we're working on the road, which isn't exactly flat or square or anything along those lines. I also used 2x6s instead of 2x4s, like it said in the kit. It said online that the instructions you could use 2x6s, and then when the kit arrived, it turned out Amazon lied to me. All I had to do to fix that was drill a hole so that a screw would fit in a right place. It wasn't too big of a deal. And this is where you get to see that I made a mistake. I put the bracket for the outside edge on the wrong place. The nice thing about these kits is that they're really easy to put together. You just need a few screws and almost anyone could probably make this.
video for you, but it's next weekend for me. I'm gonna cut 3 inches off this thing. Somehow I managed to measure 3 inches off. I'm not exactly sure how that happened, so
So I had to bring in my reinforcements here with Lisa. We got the door cut down to the right size and got it hung. I didn't realize how big it was until reviewing this video. The doors look gigantic, especially with Lisa standing in front of them. And now the door doesn't shut. What did we do wrong? Probably should have used a level. Didn't have a level. Well, actually, I don't know what the level was. We're just eyeballing everything here. It's a set of doors for a shed. It doesn't have to be perfect. But if you are astute, you can probably catch what mistake we made. And I have no clue how we made that, because I measured it a couple times. But as you can see, the door is further than halfway across. And now we have to figure out how to cut off 6 inches. I'm sure Lisa really appreciated standing there holding the door while I went and rummaged through the car looking for stuff. Oh, I was cutting a piece of spacer to hang up there to make the doors a little more level. My genius plan of just hanging it off the tree didn't work. Adding the spacer worked pretty well, though. I mean, it was a pain in the butt to add the spacer. Plus, I was leaning up against that with the ladder, so I was getting further and further back as we went. But it was good enough. We now have a door that opens and shuts. Kind of. I cheated by moving the board on the bottom. And this is where Lisa points out that the door isn't exactly halfway across. Well, crap. What are we going to do? After talking it over, we decided it was probably a bad idea to leave it the different sizes. I tried to convince her that it would be fine. We'd just build the other door a little short and it would look a little funky. She wasn't super on board with that. So, in order to fix it, I didn't really want to take off the door because it was a pain to deal with. So I came up with the idea of just moving it and then cutting off the edges. I think it was genius. It was also really slightly risky because that door is like 12 feet off the ground and I have a 8-foot ladder. Lisa not trusting my ladder skills of just leaning it as long as it's close, we're good to go. That was the other challenge. We're always on a slope out here, so there's no good places to put ladders. Now here's the slightly dangerous, sketchy part. Oh, it doesn't look too bad on here, where we just cut off the board. We spared you the video of watching us build a second one. It's the same as the first step. Now we get the fun part of dealing with this door where, I don't know, there's a 1.5 2 feet of gap on the back. So what we put in there was, we put a little blocking behind it, and then it was good to go, kind of. it almost looks like we know what we're doing. We have 2 doors that mostly shut. And here I run into the problem of I only have 3.5-inch screws. I have to go through a 2-inch piece of tulip poplar, and then it's going through the bark as well. So those 3.5-inch screws aren't actually going far enough in. So we went and grabbed some GRK 12-inch screws after this to fix that because the door was pretty sketchily held up. So the next day I came back out and cut a bunch of 3/4-inch slabs of tulip poplar. So that's these right here. And they're exactly the same size as the door because they're off of the same chunk of wood. So these are green. We'll see how they hold up. But all I did was put a 1 screw in the top, 1 screw in the bottom to hold them all up. Eventually I will cut another strip to board and batten them completely, but for now this will work. And this was before I put in the GRK screws, so it got a little sketchy hanging a bunch of weight on that right door because there was not a lot of screw holding it up. I really like the way that tulip poplar's looking on the door. I don't know how it's going to hold up, but it definitely looks good. Way better than probably just putting steel up there. As you can tell, I am struggling to put this in because, well, my ladder doesn't really have any good places to go. The doors are slightly bowing inwards, and I'm not exactly sure I'm going to fix that. Maybe I'll just put a board across the back on the top. I came through later and put a couple of the brackets that you use to barricade your door as a way to just hold them level. I was slightly worried the wind would start making them move. This is pretty much the end of it. I'm just putting in some screws to hold the bottom parts in, and that's all we got. So thanks for sticking around to this part of oh, we gotta let the dog out. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and if you like it, give me a like or a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.